There are certain phrases that may seem harmless on the surface, simple words that anyone might casually say in conversation, but inside a woman's mind, they can spark something far deeper than ordinary comprehension. These phrases have a subtle power. They bypass logic, bypass reason, and enter directly into a realm that is instinctive and primal. Initially, she may not even recognize what is happening. She does not process it analytically at first. Instead, she feels it deeply, as a physical reaction that is difficult to ignore or suppress. And once that sensation begins, it grows, feeding itself in ways that are entirely outside conscious control. Female attraction does not adhere to rules, rational thought, or moral frameworks. It is not governed by what is considered appropriate, acceptable, or even right. It rises spontaneously from instinct and impulse, from an inner world that does not consult with the mind before reacting. This is why a woman may be entirely settled in a relationship with a partner who provides comfort, security, and stability, and yet experience an undeniable emotional or physical tension toward another man. These feelings are not choices she consciously makes. They are reactions that manifest inside her body, often long before she understands them. The precise moment when emotion begins to overpower reason is where most men falter, often without realizing it. Many misinterpret female attraction as something that can be achieved by talking more, explaining oneself endlessly, or trying desperately to impress. Others react with fear of rejection and withdraw entirely, fading from her emotional awareness without leaving a trace. True understanding comes not from words or actions designed to persuade, but from grasping how a woman's inner world functions and how desire can be activated naturally. It is about engaging her curiosity, sparking tension, and stirring instinct without resorting to manipulation, chasing, or seeking approval. In this video, I will share 5 phrases that are often considered forbidden because of the power they hold over desire. These phrases do not appeal to logic or reason. They speak directly to her emotional and instinctive mind. They position you as a man who is calm, self-contained, and inherently magnetic, someone who does not need validation yet still evokes intrigue. At the conclusion, I will reveal a 6th phrase that taps into mental attraction at a profound level. I will also explain how to wield this power responsibly, balancing influence with intelligence and ethics so that desire can exist without chaos or harm. If this is your first time here, my name is Celia. I have spent many years helping men understand female psychology and teaching them how to build meaningful connections based on attraction and genuine respect. On this channel, we do not rely on tricks, manipulative tactics, or empty games. Instead, we focus on mindset, presence, and behavior, the elements that naturally influence attraction and connection. Stay with me until the end because the final phrase does more than simply trigger desire. It demonstrates how a man can remain grounded, emotionally balanced, and self-aware, even as these instinctive feelings arise in a woman in response to subtle yet powerful cues. Many men try to analyze women through logic, believing every choice is the result of conscious thought or careful calculation. But attraction does not originate in the mind. It begins in the body, in emotion, and in instinct. It is not a rational process, it is biological. The chemistry of attraction is shaped by energy, tone, posture, and unconscious signals. This is why a woman may claim she desires a calm, stable, and polite partner, yet feel drawn to someone who challenges her, confuses her slightly, or evokes sensations she cannot fully articulate. Her attraction is born from intensity, movement, and the feeling of being alive, not from reason or justification. Because of this, attempting to explain your value, justify your behavior, or convince her intellectually rarely produces attraction. Her body reacts before her mind can catch up, sensing signals of presence, confidence, and emotional intensity long before words have any effect. This leads to a question that many men wrestle with quietly but rarely confront honestly. Why can a committed woman feel attraction toward another man? Answering this truthfully is essential because it sets the foundation for everything that follows. Without understanding this, all strategies, behaviors, or intentions may be misdirected, ineffective, or misunderstood. There is a reality that challenges many men's assumptions. A woman can experience desire for another man while simultaneously loving and valuing her partner. This is not about moral failure, character flaws, or disloyalty. It is about emotional and physical stimulation. Love provides stability, comfort, and security, but it does not automatically sustain the spark of desire. Desire needs contrast. It thrives on intensity, unpredictability, and the feeling of novelty. Without these elements, attraction fades, even in committed relationships. Recognizing this truth is not cynical. It is an understanding of the natural dynamics of human emotion and instinct, and it is the key to learning how desire operates at its deepest level. When attraction becomes routine, predictable, or emotionally flat, the subconscious begins searching for stimuli that break the monotony, something that reignites its dormant curiosity. Human emotion craves contrast, intensity, and novelty, and the female mind is no exception. When a man enters her world carrying a unique energy, calm confidence, quiet presence, subtle humor, and an air of mystery, something inside her responds automatically. She may feel a mix of curiosity, intrigue, and a hint of danger. Sensations her routine life cannot provide. This reaction is not a conscious choice or a moral lapse. It is a biological response. Her brain links attraction to emotion and emotion to novelty, making the unfamiliar irresistible when presented with authentic, grounded masculine energy. The key factor in this dynamic is the rarity of the energy she experiences. A man who is calm, emotionally grounded, and detached from her approval triggers a response simply because it is uncommon. His energy stands out against the predictable patterns of her daily life, creating a magnetic pull she cannot rationally explain. Attraction does not follow relationship labels, social rules, or commitments. Even if she has a husband or partner, the moment she senses that different vibration, her mind may become conflicted, yet her body reacts instantly. Desire is not a choice, it is a trigger, a spark that arises when something in her emotional landscape shifts. Something missing from her current environment is suddenly present. This reaction can be subtle, sometimes conveyed through a look, a pause, a calm smile, or a carefully measured tone of voice. When a man projects controlled masculine energy, her body instinctively registers it as unique, rare, and therefore compelling. At that moment, she stops perceiving him as just another man in the room. Her imagination begins to stir, often without conscious intention. She might analyze it logically later, but the initial pull is entirely emotional and instinctive. This is not about causing chaos or attempting to interfere in her life. It is about recognizing that feminine desire is a living, responsive force that shifts according to the emotional atmosphere around her. When a man embodies a presence she does not experience in her relationship, quiet strength, calm curiosity, emotional depth, desire naturally awakens. This can create confusion for her, as she may initially convince herself it is merely admiration or friendship. Beneath that rationalization, however, lies instinct responding to authenticity and independence. The key is that the man does not try to take, impress, or secure her. Instead, he remains grounded and self-contained, and in doing so, his energy stops feeling invasive and begins to feel intriguing. Mature men understand the subtle difference between sparking attraction and overstepping boundaries. They reflect what she unconsciously desires without attempting to control or possess it. The power of understanding this dynamic comes with responsibility. Awakening emotions in someone that no one else reaches is a potent ability, and it requires ethical awareness. The challenge is not merely creating attraction, it is maintaining discipline once it arises. From this place of calm control emerges the next essential tool, a simple phrase that can entirely shift how a woman experiences you. When a man calmly says, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I just want to understand you. The emotional atmosphere transforms instantly. Defenses soften. Her body no longer perceives pressure or need. She feels the presence of someone genuinely interested without demanding or insisting. This phrase works because it combines emotional detachment with authentic curiosity. You communicate presence, attention, and interest without dependence or insistence. Most men would interrupt, advise, or attempt to fix what she is saying, but this approach removes all pressure. Instead, you listen deeply and respond in a manner that communicates respect. Her body relaxes, her breathing slows, and a sense of emotional safety emerges. Safety is one of the most potent foundations for attraction. When delivered with a calm tone, relaxed posture, and genuine intent, the phrase does not feel like a tactic. It conveys strength without aggression and interest without need, fostering trust and opening a space where desire can naturally grow. The effect of this approach is subtle yet powerful. She begins to feel seen by a man who does not need her approval or reaction to validate his worth. This is deeply attractive because it allows her to exist freely without fear of judgment. Desire grows in the absence of pressure, in the quiet acknowledgement of her presence, in emotional space where she can be herself. It is not the words themselves, but the embodiment behind them, the grounded energy, the attentiveness, the calm confidence that carries impact. Silence becomes a tool, attentive listening becomes an invitation, and the interaction transforms from conversation into meaningful connection that lingers long after the moment has passed. This principle extends beyond simply saying the right words. It is about presence, posture, and energy. If a man is relaxed, grounded, and fully present, his words carry natural weight. The invitation for her to speak, the allowance for pauses and moments of silence, demonstrates that her emotions and thoughts are respected. Emotional intensity grows not through noise or insistence, but through subtlety, presence, and calm engagement. When this happens, the interaction ceases to be just a dialogue. It becomes an experience. She feels emotionally safe yet engaged, relaxed yet alive. And within that balance, attraction flourishes effortlessly, quietly, and powerfully. Finally, a simple phrase can serve as an emotional trigger disguised as a compliment. For example, telling her, "I like the way you think, I didn't expect that," carries potency beyond the surface. What makes it compelling is not flattery, but surprise. It acknowledges her uniqueness and intelligence while disrupting expectations. The brain recognizes this as rare and intriguing, and her emotional system responds automatically. Desire is sparked not by praise, but by the subtle acknowledgement that she is being perceived in a way that is authentic, unpressured, and rare. This principle, when combined with calm presence and genuine attentiveness, forms the foundation for attraction that is instinctive, magnetic, and enduring. A woman's mind reacts instantly when a man recognizes something deeper than her appearance. She does not need another comment on her hair, her clothes, or her smile. What resonates with her is being truly seen for her mind, her perspective, and the uniqueness of her thoughts. When you say, "I like the way you think," you are doing more than complimenting her intellect. You are acknowledging her energy, her reasoning, and the way she perceives the world. This acknowledgement lands far deeper than surface-level praise. It tells her that you notice what most men overlook, that she is distinctive, and that her mind has an impact that is meaningful and rare. Recognition on this level touches both ego and instinct, activating a subtle yet powerful response that engages her attention and curiosity simultaneously. The power of this phrase lies in contrast. Most men remain on the surface, commenting on looks, clothing, or outward charm. They operate within predictable patterns, offering the usual compliments that women hear constantly. But when you say, "I like the way you think," you take the conversation to a different level entirely. You are not merely acknowledging her as a woman, you are perceiving her as a complete thinking individual, someone with insights, energy, and perspective that matter. Adding, "I didn't expect that," introduces mystery and intrigue. This small phrase communicates that she has surprised you, that she has challenged your assumptions in a way that is rare, and that her mind has the ability to shift your perception. That subtle break in expectation sparks curiosity. Attraction, as we know, is born from emotion rather than logic. This phrase works because it creates emotion immediately. It acts like a mirror that reflects her intelligence, insight, and originality without testing or judging her. By acknowledging that her thoughts move something inside you, you make her feel understood and influential in a way that does not rely on physical display. A woman experiences desire most powerfully when she senses her mind can affect someone else, without needing to perform, act, or seek approval. This moment is not about her body or her appearance. It is about emotional resonance, connection, and the instinctive response that occurs when a man recognizes her essence. Imagine a simple, everyday conversation where she shares a thought, perhaps one different from your own perspective. Instead of challenging, debating, or correcting her, you pause, look at her with genuine interest, and say calmly, "I like the way you think. I didn't expect that." That pause, combined with a relaxed and steady tone, is the critical element. It conveys recognition without exaggeration, validation without pursuit. You make her feel unique without elevating her above yourself, striking a balance where attraction grows naturally. Women can immediately sense when a compliment is strategic, but when delivered authentically and calmly, it lands as something meaningful and rare, creating both intrigue and emotional resonance. This phrase also communicates selectiveness, an essential aspect of masculine energy that fosters attraction. You are not saying it to everyone, only to those whose thoughts and presence genuinely impact you. That subtle selectivity shows her that you are not easily impressed or swayed, which is rare in a world where most men chase attention or validation. By acknowledging her meaningfully without chasing, you create tension. She feels noticed, yet she cannot control or manipulate your energy. When delivered naturally and without force, the interaction remains light, real, and unpressured. Your authenticity becomes magnetic because it signals confidence, grounded energy, and an understanding of social dynamics that few men intuitively grasp. This approach draws her in because it reflects steadiness, grounded masculine energy, and genuine curiosity. You are not performing or trying to elicit a reaction. You are expressing honest interest and attentiveness. In that moment, she senses calm authority and presence, which communicates both strength and subtle intrigue. This phrase, when paired with relaxed posture, deliberate pauses, and attentive listening, becomes more than words. It becomes an emotional bridge. She feels recognized, valued, and free in your presence. That freedom allows attraction to grow organically because she is not being pressured, evaluated, or judged. Instead, she experiences genuine connection, which is the foundation of deeper desire. The next phrase builds on this principle by reinforcing emotional detachment and security. "I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to get to know you," shifts the dynamic completely. Most men approach conversations attempting to impress, to prove worth, or to win approval. This phrase eliminates that dynamic entirely. You are no longer chasing her attention. Instead, you position yourself as someone who observes, appreciates, and engages based on your own standards. This shift creates instant attraction because it reverses the expected roles. She is no longer the judge and evaluator, and you are not competing. Instead, curiosity is awakened and emotional engagement emerges naturally as she begins to wonder how she stands out in your perception. This statement communicates confidence and emotional security without arrogance. By expressing that you are centered, self-assured, and unconcerned with approval, you place yourself in a position of value. A man who does not chase demonstrates inner strength, calmness, and composure. This presence speaks louder than any flashy gesture, extravagant compliment, or forced charm. It is reflected in the way you hold yourself, in your steady voice, and in your relaxed demeanor. Her attention shifts from evaluating to observing, from assessing to feeling. She begins to seek your emotional engagement, attempting to understand why your energy is different. The dynamic changes entirely, creating tension and intrigue without manipulation. Use this phrase when your calmness is already noticeable. If she comments, "You seem really relaxed," you can respond with a simple smile and say, "That's because I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to get to know you." In that brief, natural statement, you communicate independence, grounded presence, and genuine curiosity. Her mind engages in new ways, and her body responds instinctively to this energy. She experiences safety, respect, and emotional freedom simultaneously. In a world where men often overexert themselves to win approval, this approach stands out because it flips expectations, establishes subtle tension, and allows attraction to grow effortlessly through authenticity, attentiveness, and selective engagement. When you say, "I'm not trying to impress you, I'm trying to get to know you," you are not simply speaking words. You are setting an entire emotional frame. In that moment, you demonstrate self-respect, emotional control, and calm presence. You remove the pressure of evaluation, shifting the dynamic from scrutiny to comfort. She no longer feels as though she is being judged or put on display. Instead, she feels safe, understood, and free to be herself. Safety, combined with quiet confidence, creates a fertile environment for attraction to grow naturally. It is not about trying to excite her or manufacture desire. It emerges organically because you are present without dependence, and your energy signals stability, security, and groundedness. A woman's mind responds strongly to consistency between words, actions, and energy. When your body language aligns with your tone, your presence becomes magnetic. Calm breathing, steady eye contact, and attentive listening communicate that you are fully engaged, yet unpressured. She senses that you are not performing, not seeking approval, and not dependent on her response. This creates subtle tension and intrigue because it contrasts sharply with the usual dynamic she experiences, men competing for attention or validation. Her attraction deepens naturally as she recognizes that you are emotionally stable and self-contained. It is in this alignment of internal state and outward behavior that genuine magnetic presence arises, far beyond the effect of any rehearsed line. A woman's attraction is rarely conscious in the way most men imagine. It is not the result of a checklist, logic, or conscious decision-making. Instead, it begins in the body, in the subtle shifts of energy that occur when someone presents themselves with grounded confidence, presence, and emotional consistency. When a man embodies this state, he communicates stability without arrogance, interest without dependence, and curiosity without intrusion. These are signals her nervous system picks up long before her mind has a chance to rationalize them. A phrase alone can spark desire, but it is the energy behind it, the calm certainty, the emotional control, the absence of need that gives it life. Words are the vehicle, energy is the engine. Emotional safety is one of the most overlooked factors in attraction. Many men focus entirely on impressing, chasing, or attempting to produce instant reactions. What is far more compelling is creating a space where she feels seen, understood, and free to express herself without judgment or pressure. When a woman senses that she can exist in your presence without being evaluated, the instinctive part of her brain relaxes. That relaxation allows desire to emerge because it is no longer suppressed by fear, defensiveness, or the habitual need to protect herself emotionally. Calm presence is magnetic because it simultaneously signals strength, independence, and availability, all qualities that are instinctively attractive. Contrast is also fundamental to desire. Human attraction thrives on contrast because the brain and body respond more strongly to stimuli that break predictability. A man who is consistent yet emotionally controlled creates a different energy than the average person she encounters. Most interactions she experiences are full of urgency, neediness, or over-explaining. In contrast, a man who listens attentively, who pauses, who responds with subtle curiosity, creates tension that is both intriguing and exciting. This tension is not about coercion or games. It is about creating a new emotional frequency that her instincts immediately recognize as rare and compelling. Desire emerges because she perceives depth and steadiness where others present volatility or need. The subtle power of phrases like, "I like the way you think," or "I'm not trying to impress you, I'm trying to get to know you," is not in the words themselves, but in the meaning and energy behind them. Delivered authentically, these phrases signal independence, respect, and awareness. They communicate that you are not seeking validation or chasing approval, but instead are present and engaged on your own terms. This combination of curiosity and detachment naturally draws her attention because it disrupts the patterns she is accustomed to. Her body responds to the energy of calm authority, and her mind begins to mirror that focus by seeking engagement and connection on an emotional and instinctive level. Consistency between words, tone, and body language amplifies this effect. A woman's nervous system is attuned to subtle mismatches. If your energy contradicts your speech, she will sense it instinctively. When your presence is aligned, relaxed posture, steady breathing, soft but attentive eye contact, the resonance is immediate. She perceives a man who is confident without demanding, interested without needing, and emotionally stable without appearing rigid. That alignment creates an invisible pull that goes beyond physical attraction. Desire becomes intertwined with trust and curiosity because she senses a man who is emotionally intelligent, self-aware, and grounded. In this space, connection deepens naturally, and attraction becomes automatic rather than forced. A critical element in this dynamic is selectivity. Women respond strongly when they sense that a man is not easily impressed, that his attention is given with intention and discernment. This does not mean withholding interest for manipulation, but rather expressing genuine curiosity only when it is earned by her presence or contribution. By showing selectiveness, a man communicates internal value without overt assertion. She begins to feel challenged emotionally in a safe and subtle way, which heightens both tension and desire. Attraction thrives not on effort or performance, but on the perception of internal strength and the emotional contrast he provides against the predictable energy she experiences daily. Another essential aspect is the role of silence and pauses in communication. Women respond to moments where they are invited to speak without interruption and where their words are absorbed rather than immediately analyzed or corrected. Silence becomes a tool that communicates attentiveness, presence, and control. A well-placed pause, a calm tone, or a subtle acknowledgement of surprise creates a sense of intrigue and allows her emotional system to respond fully. These quiet moments allow her to process emotions at a deeper level, and the combination of genuine attention with calm detachment triggers a natural flow of desire that no logical argument or flattery could ever achieve. This phrase reflects a deeper philosophy of male presence. Do not compete, connect. Do not attempt to be perfect, simply be present. Attraction arises not from striving or performance, but from confidence, awareness, and genuine interest. By embodying this principle, you demonstrate that your value is inherent and not contingent on approval. When a woman senses this, she experiences desire that is drawn to your stability, independence, and calm authority. It is a subtle power, quiet but irresistible, because it is rooted in genuine presence. When approached this way, connection becomes effortless. Your focus shifts from chasing outcomes to engaging fully in the moment, allowing attraction to grow naturally from the energy you bring, not from what you say or do. Your presence becomes a stabilizing yet magnetic force. As she notices your calmness and centeredness, her mind begins to engage in new ways. She starts wondering why your energy is different from others she encounters. The phrase, "I'm not trying to impress you, I'm trying to get to know you," reinforces this energy by signaling emotional security. It communicates that you are not there to win, manipulate, or perform. Instead, you are observing, listening, and appreciating without expectation. That balance between interest and detachment creates an emotional pull. Desire is awakened because she recognizes a man who is both emotionally available and independent, someone whose presence encourages connection rather than obligation. When safety, consistency, and calm confidence converge, attraction grows effortlessly. The alignment of internal mindset and external behavior creates a resonance that cannot be engineered through superficial tactics or manipulation. Women feel it immediately when a man embodies this philosophy. Their bodies respond instinctively to calm, grounded energy. Their minds become curious, and desire begins to emerge organically. This is the foundation for authentic connection, one that does not rely on rehearsed lines, flashy compliments, or performance-based validation. It is a philosophy of presence, energy, and emotional integrity, allowing attraction to arise naturally in response to the unique energy a man brings into her emotional space.